I asked a bunch of professional voice actors to reveal their opinions on anime, but little do they know I will be ranking their takes on a tier list from S to D. I will be very surprised if anyone's favorite anime ends up being so bad I have to use F tier, but if that happens, said voice actor will be subject to 1 minute of my best roasts. Good thing I had them all sign that legally binding waiver. Whew. But before we get started, this video is sponsored by PopTech. Oh no! I'm lost! I was headed to the White House, and I would have used Google Maps, but I can't look at my phone and drive at the same time. If only I had something that could hold my phone up so I can look at Google Maps directions and get to the White House. With a good phone mount in your car, you can keep your phone in place and out of your face while driving. Most suction cup mounts are not reliable, so I've always left my phone on top of the dash or on the passenger seat. But PopTech sent me a magnetic car mount that I'm now using every day. I can easily attach and detach my phone with one hand, making navigation and calls way safer and more convenient. Unlike most similar products, their car mounts fit circular, vertical, and horizontal type air vents and will not just fall out as soon as you hit a bump. Also, the magnetic ring you apply onto the back of your phone doesn't interfere with wireless charging. But hey, they have other types of phone mounts if you don't want the magnetic kind. They have adhesive mounts for flat dashboards, suction cup mounts for windshields, and cup holder mounts, as well as one specifically for Tesla vehicles. I am still really happy with mine and would absolutely pay for it. It's a fantastic product for the price that it is. Check out the first link in the description as well as in the pinned comment to buy one for yourself. Thank you to PopTech for sponsoring the video. Our first VA is Abigail Kim. The first thing I want to say is when opening her audio file, Windows Media Player only reads it as bonk sound effect. Even though the file works, it's her speaking, I checked and it does this for none of the other 20 audio files. So there you go, my first roast is completely unintentional.
For my favorite anime, I would say it's Delicious in Dungeon. I don't know, I think it's a fun anime with a really fun concept. I've always been a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, so that really appealed to me. I admit there are quite a few slow moments in this story, but that's the part that I find most endearing.
Okay, I don't want to call your favorite anime basic. It's what I'm thinking though. Okay, when I say basic, I don't mean bad. Because I enjoy Delicious in Dungeon. I'll rank your pick B for bet you're a sucker for the found family trope.
Hello, my name is KJ Burbank. My #1 anime of all time, Banana Fish. If you give it anything less than S tier, I'm going to find you. Now, it's extremely dark, it's very sad, but it just works so well. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe this is concerning. It's so good. The story's so good. The art's so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna rewatch it right now. Right now!
Now, KJ is experiencing what we in the industry like to call banana fish withdrawals. No matter how emotionally and psychologically destructive tragic yaoi is, those who consume it will never be able to stay away. Oh right, he also sent in an anime he hates.
This is a bit of a hot take, but my least favorite anime. I'm sorry. Demon Slayer, I'm sorry! Don't kill me! I don't like it. I've tried many times to get into it. I just can't. The art looks great, I'll give it that.
You may not survive long after this video goes up, but I, at least, am not going to kill you. It took until halfway through season 1, but once I gave it a try, I was on board. My general opinion on Demon Slayer is that it's very well executed shonen. On the verge of being overrated because it is formulaic, but it deserves an A.
Hello and good day! My name is Scootus, and I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for what I consider to be the best anime that I have seen. Mob Psycho 100 is a 3-season anime about a young boy with psychic powers learning how to navigate the world around him. It had a story it wanted to tell, and it tells it amazingly.
Now, I'm not exactly sure about the production process. The mangaka of these stories are put under incredibly strict deadlines, and when you're trying to write an overarching narrative, I'm not going to act like I know everything about, but as I understand it,
and I really appreciate it for that. So go watch Mob Psycho. It's really freaking good.
Never ask Scootus a question, because at first he answers it and then he just starts yapping. I think he was talking about the manga industry or whatever, using all these big fancy words. Anyways, you're right. Mob Psycho 100 is just in a completely different league than a lot of more widely recognized anime. I'm not saying it's underground, just underpraised. Throughout its 3 seasons, it's consistently well written, somehow emotional and hilarious, with characters I would die for and stunning animation. Easy S tier.
So you wanna know my favorite anime? Well, this might be one of the most basic answers to this question, but personally, I think I'll have to go with Dragon Ball Z. Specifically, Dragon Ball Z Kai, which for those unaware, is a redubbed and recut version of Dragon Ball Z, which cuts down on a bunch of the original anime's filler and more closely resembles the story structure of the manga. Its particular brand of high-speed fights, colorful characters, and over-the-top power-ups are extremely entertaining and were massively influential. More than once, I've used Dragon Ball as a reference for fight noises and action scenes. Compared to its contemporaries, Dragon Ball Z may not be as complex or nuanced when it comes to story, characters, and world building, but it's a great example of well-executed simplicity. Maybe I have the anime taste of a filthy Western casual, but I can't deny how much enjoyment Dragon Ball Z Kai and the Dragon Ball franchise in general has given me over the years.
Hey, you said it, not me. I tried to get into Dragon Ball years ago. I'm well aware of how hugely important and influential the franchise is, and maybe I'll try again someday. The only people I know who say Dragon Ball Z is their favorite anime are people who grew up watching it, which is quite a lot of people. But I didn't grow up watching it, so maybe now I just expect too much.
Well, I wouldn't say I hate this one, but of all the anime I've properly watched, it's the one that's fallen off the most for me. And that anime in question is Beyblade Metal Fusion. Some things that I've noticed and take issue with include ridiculous plot points, characters becoming insignificant or incredibly downplayed following their major debut, and also a terrible case of main character can't lose syndrome. Seriously, there is a good number of fights where main character Jinga is getting his ass kicked, declares he can't lose, and then miraculously wins.
Beyblade Metal Fusion goes in NA for I haven't seen it, so I can't fairly rate it.
My favorite anime is Another. It's a really good horror anime. Very compelling, not at all what you expect if you go in blind. And I really don't like the anime School Days. It's very bad. Everyone is awful, and I hate that entire show.
I agree, Another is a compelling horror mystery and an edge-of-your-seat experience on the first watch. But once the shock value of the gore and the plot twists wear off, it's just a sort of show you tell your weeb friends is your favorite to impress them. Way back in the day, I watched it for the famous umbrella scene, thinking I was gonna get Final Destination, the anime. And yes, the umbrella scene is awesome, but the story really drags between the cool, gory scenes. I remember the ending being confusing and disappointing, and maybe I should refresh my memory on that, but for now, I'll put it in C tier. School Days has to go in NA because I have sworn an oath never to watch it, not even for content, and if you know me, you know content is literally all that matters to me.
Hello, my name is Steena Carey. I'm a voice actor, and my favorite anime is probably Shiki. It's like this story about, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a horror anime. The manga it's based on is based on a novel, and I like it because the animation is goofy as hell, but it manages to still be, like, truly horrifying by the end. And, you know, it's asking deep philosophical questions, which, like, I don't know. I just miss how gritty and serious everything was in 2006.
This sounds like a solid take. I haven't watched it yet, but it's been on my to-do list for forever. And I've heard good things from people whose opinion I trust.
I think my least favorite anime is probably No Game, No Life. I think that as a society, collectively, we can probably agree that there are way better isekai that have come and gone since then. It's just gross and weird, and, like, that's your sister, dog.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've watched No Game, No Life more than once. Something about it was a lot of fun to me, maybe just nostalgia because it was one of the first anime I watched. Regardless, I agree with you, it's hot garbage.
My favorite anime is a slightly strange choice potentially for many, but it just hit me so hard. I'm of course talking about Violet Evergarden. Not only is it incredibly beautiful, the animation is absolutely stunning. Like, seriously, if you look at any pictures or any little clips of this show, you will be blown away by how beautifully drawn and beautifully animated it is. But the story itself is insane. And then, of course, after you finish the show, watch the movie. It wraps up everything perfectly, and you won't be able to cry again for another probably 3 months because you'll have used all of your tears on this show. Honorable mention, of course, to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. It is just, there's a reason it is the best.
You start watching Violet Evergarden for the visuals, and remember it for the impact the characters and themes have on you. The Violet Evergarden movie and series combined makes it an S tier. As for FMA Brotherhood, yeah, perfect.
An anime I just couldn't really get into, and I'm probably going to get thrown under the bus for this by the anime community, is One Piece. It's okay. I watched a couple of episodes, I just couldn't get into it, and I'm not going to sit around and watch like 20, 30, 40 episodes for, like the Barati arc or the Arlong Park arc. If you want to make something and you want to make something good, get good from the beginning. Like, I understand it's this great big thing because it's been going for 1,000 fucking episodes. But at the same time, get good. Give me stuff. I don't have 100 episodes worth of time to wait watching something I don't enjoy. One Piece. Get your shit together. I'm prepared for the hate. Bring it on.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
Get good? Did you really just say get good about One Piece? You watched the introductory episodes of a grand fictional epic, a fantasy saga, and concluded that it was wasting your time. Is this how people feel when I say I can't get into Dragon Ball Z? Because I feel like someone borrowed my favorite book and returned it with peanut butter holding the pages together. I don't think you understand. One Piece is one of my picks for best anime ever, and there are probably like 6 other VAs in this video who are gonna say the same. We don't like it because it's popular, and I don't expect everyone to, enjoy it as much as I do, but it's very precious to a lot of people because of how it impacted them and how much we love the characters and how much we relate to different things we've seen over the amount of episodes.
Me personally, I'm gonna have to say One Piece. I binge watched the crap out of that, and the reason I would say One Piece is my favorite is just literally the journey. And I mean that like in terms of going to so many different places and, the journey of like different characters and their development or their downfall. And 2 quick things, if you start watching One Piece, you don't have to binge watch it like I did. You can take your time, watch 1 episode a week, a month, a year, 1 episode every 2 years. I don't care. Just take your time to do what you feel is right. If anyone tells you to skip an arc in One Piece, specifically Skypiea arc, block them. Restraining order. Cuff them. Hunt them.
Isaac, I hope you change your ways.
If I had to pick an absolute favorite anime of all time, it's a bit of a tough choice, but I might have to go with Kill la Kill. That show is just peak Studio Trigger in my opinion. It's the show that sold me on the rest of their work as well. It's got amazing characters, a fantastic story with so many twists, and an eye-catching style that I absolutely love. The first time I watched the show, I finished all of it in under 48 hours. It was the end of 2020, the whole year had been kind of stressful, so I just sat down, watched it, and the end of my year was made better instantly. Though, if I'm allowed to pick a second all-time favorite anime, honestly it might be a tie. I would have to go with Fairy Tail. Sure, a lot of people like to talk about how it's cheesy and how the power of friendship solves everything, but at its core, it's a really heartwarming show about found family. And as someone who can relate to a lot of that, it just hits close to home. Lucy is one of my favorite characters of all time for that reason.
Fairy tale? More like fairy fail, because none of the jokes land. But you know what does land frequently? Natsu's face in Lucy's titties!
My favorite anime is Clannad and Clannad After Story. Those are my favorite anime. They're just one big thing because they're the same story arc, so it's just Clannad. All of Clannad. That is my favorite anime. And my least favorite anime is Naruto. It's just not for me, I'm sorry.
I also think of Clannad and Clannad After Story as pretty much the same thing, and when combining them, I almost ranked them S, but decided on A tier. I remember vividly Clannad is the first anime that ever made me cry so hard I had to pause the episode, but a lot of the series is very slow to get through and you have to be in a teary kind of mood, As for what you said about your least favorite anime, I do like Naruto. Oh boy, here we go. I'll put Naruto in B tier. It's my list.
My favorite anime is Hunter x Hunter or Hunter x Hunter. Not only is there such vast world building that happens, there's a lot of character building, a great arc that makes anybody who watches it cry, and I can't express how much I thoroughly enjoy the complex power system that is ingrained in this story.
We are in full agreement here. Hunter x Hunter belongs nowhere else but S tier.
Hey everybody, my name is Baldwin, and one of my favorite animes of all time is Assassination Classroom. Basically, the premise is that these middle schoolers have, a year to kill this yellow, gooey alien thing. Otherwise, it's gonna destroy the world. And the premise literally grabs you by the shirt and pulls you in. And the second thing I like about this series, it's one of the things.
Make up your
I have
mind,
three
damn.
things, but the second thing I like about this series is because that every character gets their own time in the spotlight. They're all a focus. No one is really neglected or overlooked, and I really appreciate that. And the third thing, I really like how it's 2 seasons. Honestly, this could have been a 3, 4, 5 season thing, but they're nah, we're finna cook so well, it's gonna be 2 seasons. And maybe a movie. I don't remember if there's a movie, but yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed Assassination Classroom.
Assassination Classroom is one of those shows that you think must be overhyped because of how popular it is, but no. You can add it to the ongoing list of anime that made me cry so much I had to pause.
Hello, the name's Maya, but you can call me Jin VA. So the question you wanted to ask me was, what's my favorite anime? Well, after thoughtful thinking about what I feel like is my favorite anime and what I enjoy so much, I've come with the terms that my favorite anime is Re:Zero. It's funny to think that my favorite anime is a isekai, but I gotta say they do the elements in that story very well. The main character might start off as highly annoying to you, but I say if you keep pushing through, it is definitely an anime that you would love to watch, sit down, and enjoy the story.
No other anime portrays the true horror of an isekai scenario as well as Re:Zero, and I can't wait for season 3.
My first thought was School Days. Honestly, that anime goes against everything that I believe in. It's just, it makes my stomach sick. I hate everything about it. I hate the main character. I hate the actions that he took. I hate some of the side characters. I would say, don't mess with a person's emotions, because that's what that man did.
When this is the sort of thing I hear about School Days, can you really blame me for not wanting to watch it? Jin's talking as if she's been cursed. Shakyra Dunn has sent in a lovely letter revealing her favorite and least favorite anime. She writes, well, my favorite anime is Fruits Basket 2019. I feel that it's a compelling story with a very relatable main character in Toru Honda, who has a goal in mind to fulfill her late mother, but ends up becoming swept into a wonderful world and changing the lives of the Soma family forever. It's sweet, wholesome, it's dark and depressing. It leaves you feeling a little stronger as you walk through life. The original Fruits Basket changed me as a person, and in my real-life conversations about anime, I never shut up about the remake. Fruits Basket 2019 makes up for 1,000 Promise Neverland Season 2s. An anime I hate, Natsuyuki Rendezvous. I personally wasn't a big fan of the romance between the main characters. It's a story that is born from the leading lady losing her husband early on in their marriage, and she has been struggling to move forward for a decade, and as such is keeping her husband's spirit around only for him to be visible to her new potential love interest. This sounds pretty interesting, actually. In the spirit of fairness, I must rank this NA since I haven't yet seen it. Thank you, Shakyra, you have excellent taste.
Hi there, Horror Symphony here. Now, my favorite anime, that's a really tough question. I have so many favorites from Serial Experiments Lane, Bakuman, Steins Gate, but if I have to give one answer, I think it goes to Full Metal Alchemist. Now, you might be asking me which one. I like them both, actually. With the original, I love the dark and gritty atmosphere, but with Brotherhood, I love the refined story and how much more closely it follows the manga. But overall, in whole, this franchise is something that I love a lot. I love how all the characters are developed and grow, all the emotional moments, and of course, all the tension.
Basic. No, I'm kidding. I still haven't seen the original FMA. As for FMA Brotherhood, I've already said, that's just perfect cinema. No flaws, no complaints, we're all lucky to live in a world where FMA Brotherhood exists and is S tier.
Hello, my name is Andrew, or CourtJester VA. So, my favorite anime of all time definitely has to be My Hero Academia. The moment I saw, like, the first episode, I fell in love with it. Like, I love the concept, I love the story, and I've sat through the dub, so I never really sat through the sub, but yeah, I'm a dub guy when it comes to anime. So, I really like the writing for the dub. It knows how to separate itself from just any other shonen anime. I can't think of any other anime with a concept like this, about a world where superheroes are the majority of the population. Like, I can think of several anime about ninjas, or the future, or isekais.
Yeah, you got a point there. My Hero Academia took that concept, that premise of superheroes and everyone having powers into anime, and other than, Samurai Flamenco, Tiger and Bunny, One Punch Man, A Certain Scientific Railgun, and Charlotte, it's pretty much the only anime with such a unique concept.
Hi, my name is Laluna, and I was gonna say Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and Dungeon Meshi, but those are kind of basic answers, and I feel like people have already said them. So I'm gonna be built different and say Dorohedoro, because 1, the character designs are fantastic, 2, it's fucking hilarious, and please censor if I'm not allowed to. And I love how much they treat nudity as like a casual thing and not sexualize it at all. Like, that's a rarity in anime, so I think that's really awesome. Also, an anime that I hate is Boku no Pico. You know why. Okay, that's it.
Yes, I know why. I wish I could be built different too, but I haven't seen Dorohedoro yet, sorry.
Cowboy Bebop. Now, what can I say about this anime that probably hasn't been said already? Quality animation that still stands well to this day, interesting characters. It's animes like this that'll definitely stand the test of time, whereas anime like The Master of Ragnarok and The Blessing of Einherjar, not so much. A boring main character with an even more boring story, a harem that's so dense that light bends around them and constantly want to get in the main character's pants, and even animation that is so bad that it makes the 7 Deadly Sins look like Studio Ghibli.
I don't even need to add to that, you're doing all the best roasts for me. If I didn't put Cowboy Bebop in S, I wouldn't blame anybody for unsubscribing, or even worse, subscribing. The Master of Ragnarok and Blesser of whatever is blessingly not something I plan on watching.
Hey, my name is Jay Foley, aka Foley Express, and my favorite anime are One Piece, My Hero Academia, and School Rumble. Now, these 3 are my favorite anime because they've been a very important part of my life for a very long time, and I just adore their worlds, I love their characters, I love the stories, and for School Rumble, I really, really enjoy the comedy. Same with One Piece and My Hero Academia, but School Rumble is just ball-bustingly funny in my personal opinion, and yeah, they just mean a lot to me, and there's just so much to adore about all 3 of them personally.
School Rumble, I agree, is such a fun time. One of the best comedy anime I've seen, which I can say confidently even though it's been a while. If you like Love is War or Nichijou, I'm begging you to watch it.
Now, my least favorite anime would probably have to be Sword Art Online and Attack on Titan. Now, I used to adore Attack on Titan back in high school, but over the years, I just kind of lost interest in it. And there are still things I enjoy about it, like the music, certain animation in certain episodes, and characters like Sasha. But other than that, I kind of fell off with that series, unfortunately. Thanks for having me, and do your worst, I guess.
I will. Let me start with Sword Art Online. You didn't say much, but I can guess why you picked it for least favorite. It's an anime that blew up massively, kind of like how Demon Slayer did, except with SAO, the protagonist is blander than cardboard and has his adopted sister as a love interest. But I'm one of those Mother Rosario arc apologists, and although I'd be judging if anyone said it was their favorite, it's still better than No Game No Life. And a pretty fun watch even if you're yelling at the screen. Now, I have questions about the Attack on Titan thing. How far did you get before giving up? Like season 3? Because if you use the words fell off when referring to season 1, 2, or 3, we're gonna have a problem. But if you're talking about Attack on Titan the final season, part 3, chapter 9, verse 12, I get it. I don't think it deserves to be at the bottom of anyone's list, though.
My name is Mothballs VA, and my favorite anime of all time is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Evangelion has some of the most incredible character writing ever put to screen, incredible performances from the original cast, and a soundtrack so good that it makes me want to start punching walls. I also really like the little red thing that's always yelling at Shinji.
I feel very conflicted between saying what's on my mind and being nicer about it, but Neon Genesis Evangelion, I dropped that show. I found it really boring, and I really do not like love triangles, and I hate the protagonist. I'm actually just gonna put this in NA. I'm not even gonna rank it anywhere on the tier list. I think that's too dangerous and frankly unfair because I didn't watch it to the end.
As for the worst, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Redo of Healer is the worst thing to happen to humanity since degenerative bone disease. 0 redeeming qualities.
I wish I never trusted the people who told me to watch the incel isekai. I can't even play clips from it because it's better that you never lay eyes on this failed Shield Hero copy. Redo of Healer gets our very first F. Hooray!
Hello. My name's Amaya McCormick, also known as Lexi Dreamstay. Now, I will say my favorite anime changes based on how I'm feeling and how the day, I don't know, it changes a lot. But I'm gonna narrow it down to 2, and that is one is Nana. This is my favorite shoujo anime. What can I say? I love the drama, I love the music, I love the fashion, and it holds a special place in my heart from the nostalgia from in high school, and I'm still praying and hoping Yozawa actually finishes it one day. Now, as far as my favorite shoujo anime, I would say I'm gonna give it to Dr. Stone. I absolutely love this anime. I love the adventure, and I'm a sucker for a super smart character.
I get why people like it. I think the story is very compelling. I had so much fun with all of the soundtrack, the openings, fire, but it wasn't funny, and it got really repetitive midway into season 2, where I was like, okay, I lost interest. But season 1 is good, solid.
Hi again. It was kind of hard to narrow this down because I don't really hate many animes, but one that actually comes to mind is Happy Sugar Life. Oh my god. I can't do it. I just can't. If you know, you know. It is so wrong to me. There's so many things that just makes me kind of squirm and feel iffy about, like, if you know, you know.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you here, not on the fact that Happy Sugar Life isn't extremely disturbing and uncomfortable, but it was almost really good psychological horror. Happy Sugar Life goes in D tier. It was so close to being well executed, but it was doing a lot of tell not show.
Hey, my name's Malakai Lazuli, and if I had to say my favorite anime, it would definitely be Blue Lock. Now, the reason for that is because most sports anime focus on the teamwork and the team building that they have and, working together to overcome things together. Meanwhile, Blue Lock is the fight to be number one. It taps into this ego and the selfishness for each player. And while it can definitely feel like it's feeding into a toxic and individualistic mindset, it actually does promote growth in these players by having them learn from each other, having them focus on themselves, and then realizing what they can do as an individual among many talented individuals that is impactful on the game.
I love Blue Lock. I was watching a lot of sports anime and starting to get really, tired out. I guess a bit of sports anime fatigue because they were all very similar. It was all about the power of friendship and getting through this together. And Blue Lock solved that problem for me for all the reasons that you have already described.
I recorded this and then I realized I was yapping about spoilers, so I'm gonna keep this spoiler free. Hi, hello, my name's Ariana Rosario. I'm a voice actor and my favorite anime of all time is Mob Psycho 100. It resonates a lot with me specifically because I struggle with a lot of identity issues, Lamau. But I just think Mob Psycho tells its story very intentionally, and every character has its purpose. Every character influences Mob in such a way that allows him to have such a steady growth and, for him to learn more things about himself and, for him to go through the process of, learning aspects of yourself, learning things that you like, learning things that you don't like, learning how to live and, at the very end of it, like learning to accept yourself and to love yourself wholly as you are. And I think it's a beautiful message that more shows should definitely do. I love seeing shit like that. Oh, it's so good. Mob Psycho is so good. Please watch Mob Psycho.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the big lesson, the big takeaway, the one piece treasure is go watch Mob Psycho 100. Thank you to all of the voice actors that have agreed to collab with me to give their opinions on anime for this video. Please go check them all out. Their information is in the video description. And thanks for watching. See you next time.